To my beloved parents, by the time you find this letter, I will no longer be here. I'm sorry for leaving you this way. But I can't live with this pain anymore. I have carried a secret for so long. A darkness that had followed me since I was a child. Today, I need to tell you the truth. Even though I wish I've been brave enough to say it earlier. Everything started when I was 10 years old. I knew you remember that holiday you sent me to stay with my distant cousin, Kelechi. Mama, what you don't know is that during this time, something horrible happened to me when I was there. One day I walked into the room and found him doing something I didn't understand then. He was doing something to himself. Things I was too young to know about. Before I could run, he saw me and he dragged me inside. That was the first time he touched me. I was so scared, so confused. I was a child, I don't know what to do. He told me to keep it a secret, else he will kill me and reveal it to you guys. That even if I would try and tell you guys, that no one will believe me. If I told them, I felt trapped. He did it again and again. Every time I stayed there, Mama, Papa, he molested me every night. I don't know how to stop it. I don't know how to tell you. I felt it was my fault. Like I had done something wrong. That was the beginning of my pain. As I grew older, I started to notice that something was wrong with me. I couldn't stop the urge that haunted me. The thing my cousin did to me awakened a hunger in me that I couldn't control. I have spent my whole life battling with these urges, trying to fill the emptiness inside me by being with men. But no matter how many men I was with, the emptiness never went away, Papa. You must have wondered why I couldn't settle down, why I couldn't stay with just one man. I know you don't understand why I lived the way I did. I'm so sorry for the shame I brought to you. It wasn't because I wanted to live like this. Mama, Papa, you guys didn't brought me up this way. I was broken. And I don't know how to fix myself. The day of my wedding, when that video played for everyone to see, it destroyed that little hope I had left. I thought I would be happy with Emeka. I thought I would have a normal life. But I see now that I was fooling myself. I've been running from this pain for so long. But I can't run anymore. I'm tired. I'm tired of pretending to be strong when all I feel is broken inside. Please don't blame yourselves for what I've become. Papa, Mama, you couldn't have known. I never gave you the chance to help me because I was too ashamed. I love you both so much. And I'm sorry I couldn't be the daughter you deserved. I just want you to know that this isn't your fault. I'm the one who couldn't carry the weight anymore. I'm so sorry for leaving you with this pain. But I'm finally free. I'm free from the shame, the guilt, and the emptiness that has controlled my life. Please forgive me and try to remember me as your little girl before all this happened. I hope you can find peace, Mama, Papa. I'm sorry I have to go. And I hope you guys can forgive me for not being able to find myself. With all my love to my dearest mother, my dearest father, good night. Adaugo. Nenye drove in silence, her heart heavy with sadness for her friend. When they arrived at Adaugo family house, Adaugo rushed inside and locked herself in her room, crying uncontrollably. Her parents were confused and distressed, not understanding how the video recording had come about. Nenye sat quietly in the living room, sadness washing over her as she thought about everything Adaugo was going through. She felt every bit of Adaugo's pain as though it were her own. Chiamaka, on the other hand, pretended to worry, offering fake sympathy, but deep down she felt nothing but satisfaction. She had achieved her goal. Adaugo's life was in shambles and Chiamaka couldn't be happier. When Chiamaka got home, she couldn't contain her joy any longer. She popped open a bottle of champagne, celebrating her success. She smiled to herself, feeling proud of how well her plan has worked. The betrayer had been perfect, and now Adaugo's future with Emeka was ruined. Still basking in their satisfaction, Chiamaka picked up her phone and dialed Emeka's number, making sure to disguise her voice so he wouldn't recognize her. When he answered, she spoke, her tone dripping with false concern. "By now, I'm sure you are heartbroken by the betrayer," she said. "That woman you're about to marry, she's not what or who you think she is. She's a whore, a woman who sleeps with 5 to 10 men every day. You should be grateful, you know. You should be thanking me. I saved you from a lifetime of mystery." There was silence on the other end of the line. Emeka's heart was already in pieces, and hearing those words from a stranger only deepened his despair. Chiamaka grinned as she imagined his reaction. For her, this was the final victory. She had destroyed Adaugo, and now she had left Emeka with nothing but pain. The house was filled with cries as Adaugo's parents and Nenye grieved over Adaugo's lifeless body that was lying down in the kitchen. She stabbed herself to death. Her father, shocked and numb, clutched the blood-stained letter, his hands shaking. The weight of the truth written in Adaugo's last word was unbearable. He kept rereading the part where she begged for forgiveness, the part where she explained her childhood trauma. How had they not seen her pain? How had they missed the signs? Nenye, killing beside Adaugo's lifeless body, sobbed uncontrollably. She couldn't believe her best friend was gone. Memories of their friendship flashed before her eyes. How They had laughed together, shared secrets, and supported each other through difficult times. But now, Adugo was gone, and Neye felt a deep suffocating guilt. She had tried to be there for her, but it hasn't been enough. The pain was too great for Adugo to bear alone, and now she had lost her forever. Soon, the news of Adugo's tragic death spread through the town like wildfire. Friends, family, and neighbors were all in shock. No one could believe that the bright, beautiful girl they have known was gone. Rumors began to circulate, people whispering about the video that has been played at the wedding, about the shame Adugo had endured, and now the letter that revealed the dark truth of her childhood. Everyone had their own version of the story, but none of them could fully understand the depth of Adugo's suffering. As the funeral preparations were made, Chiamaka sat alone in her room, feeling conflicted. She had wanted to ruin Adugo's life, but she hadn't expected this. She didn't imagine that Adugo would take her own life. For a moment, Chiamaka felt a pang of guilt. She thought back to the day she had planned the whole thing, the moment she had plotted Adugo's downfall. But that guilt was quickly replaced by her own jealousy and resentment. She still couldn't shake the feeling that Adugo had everything she had always wanted: a wedding, a fiancé, a life that seemed perfect from the outside. Chiamaka had allowed her envy to poison her heart, and now it has led to tragedy. The day of Adugo's funeral arrived, and the atmosphere was thick with sorrow. People gathered at her family home, where her body lay in a white casket, adorned with flowers. Her parents were beside themselves with grief, their faces pale and broken. Neye stood by them, her eyes swollen from crying. She felt like a part of herself had died with Adugo. She had never felt so empty, so lost. As the funeral service began, Emeka arrived quietly. His face was somber, and his eyes betrayed the deep pain he still carried. He had loved Adugo, despite everything, and the shock of her death had shattered him. He stood at the back of the crowd, his heart heavy with regret. He wished he had stayed. He wished he had listened to her pleas that day at the wedding. Maybe things would have been different. When it was time to lower Adugo's casket into the ground, her mother collapsed into tears, clinging to her husband for support. Neye couldn't stop crying either, feeling the weight of the final tea. As they said their last goodbyes, the skies seemed to darken, as though the heavens themselves were mourning the loss of a soul who had suffered in silence for too long. After the funeral, Neye and Adugo's parents vowed to honor her memory by spreading awareness about the impact of trauma, mental breakdown, and the dangers of keeping silent about such deep pain. They knew that if they had known earlier, Adugo would have been safe enough to share her struggles. Maybe they would have helped her. It was a painful lesson, but they wanted to make sure no one else would go through what Adugo had. After Adugo passing, Neye couldn't rest. Her mind was consumed with thoughts of justice for her best friend. She had promised herself that she would find out who planned the video recording that ruined Adugo's life. The pain of losing her was too deep, and Neye knew that whosoever was responsible needed to be held accountable. Determined, Neye began gathering every piece of evidence she could. She requested access to all the CCTV footage from the wedding venue and carefully combed through it. Day and night, she reviewed the footage, determined to find a clue, no matter how small. It wasn't long before she noticed something suspicious: a conversation between a man she didn't recognize and Chiamaka. Hours after the wedding began, the two seemed to be in deep discussion. The two seemed to be in deep discussion, as though there were no sound, but their body language spoke volumes. Nenye heart raised. She had suspected something was off with Chiamaka ever since the wedding. The way she had seemed too calm, too satisfied, while everyone else was devastated. But Nenye had needed proof, and now she had it. With her evidence in check, she wasted no time. She stormed into Chiamaka's house with police officers by her side, ready to comfort the person responsible for Adaugo's downfall. The moment Chiamaka opened the door and saw Nenye standing there with the police, her face turned pale. She knew what was coming. Before she could speak, the police stepped forward and announced that she was under arrest. Everyone in the neighborhood, hearing the commotion, ran out of their houses, gathering to see what was happening. As the police handcuffed Chiamaka, Nenye's voice was steady but filled with anger. "You destroyed Anne, Chiamaka. How could you? How could you? Someone you call your best friend? Chiamaka, you are so evil. You are so evil," she said, locking eyes into Chiamaka's eye. "You ruined Adaugo's life with that video. And now, I promise you, you are going to pay for it. You will pay for it in a very painful way." Chiamaka, caught and cornered, tried to deny it at first, but the weight of the evidence was undeniable. The police had gathered testimonies and footage, and the man who had recorded the video has already confessed to his involvement under Chiamaka's orders. It was all too clear now. Chiamaka had been the mastermind behind the entire plan. The crowd that had gathered was stunned. Whispers of disbelief spread through the neighborhood. Chiamaka, how could she do something like that? People rumored, shocked that someone so close to Adaugo would have betrayed her in such a cruel way. As Chiamaka was led away by the police, her head hung low. Her jealousy, her bitterness had consumed her, leading her to destroy the life of someone she once called a friend. But now, the truth was out, and she will face the consequences of every of her actions. For Nenye, it was a bittersweet victory. She had uncovered the truth and brought justice to Adaugo's memory. But it wouldn't bring her friend back. Still, she knew that Adaugo would be at peace, knowing that those who had wronged her were held accountable. Nenye stood tall, feeling a sense of closure, even when the grief still lingered in her heart. The end. Thank you, my beautiful, wonderful subscribers, my returning subscribers, my new viewers. If you are turning in today, if today is your first time turning into my channel, you are highly welcome. Thank you so much. Thank you for watching. What do you think about the story? Please always drop your comments at the comment section. Thank you and God bless you. Bye. See you in my next video. I love you all.